Latest rankings from U.S. News and World Report are out. Lancaster, Pennsylvania is one of the top places to retire in 2024. And not only that, but Central PA in general is very highly ranked. We're going to dive deep into these rankings, what we like about them, what we think could be changed, and it all starts right now. Thank you so much for watching this video. We are living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We are a YouTube channel that's dedicated to all things about Lancaster County, PA, the things we love about it, the things we could change, the things we don't like and hate. And yes, in this video, we are breaking down once again the retirement rankings from U.S. News and World Report. Lancaster continues to be at the top of the charts. It has been for several years in a row. Last year at the #1 spot in all of the country. This year coming in the top 5 once again. Now in this channel, again, we're all about Lancaster, so if you do get some great information about this video, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up on this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can get more information as it comes available about Lancaster, PA, and the things we love about it, the things we wish we could change. My name is Matt Moore, and I run a real estate team called the Moore Group right here in Lancaster. And we are helping people all the time who are moving to relocating within right here in Lancaster. And if that's you, if you just want to have a conversation, start the conversation, or if you have questions at all, we'd love to be a resource and a guide for you on this journey if that is where your plans are taking you. Real quick, we'll put our information right here on the screen. We're going to have a little bit more of a deep dive at the end of this video on this information, so you can kind of deep dive into our website and all things like that. That's again at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But there's our information. Reach out anytime, and we'd love to be a resource. Now in this video, we are breaking down the U.S. News and World Report rankings for the 2024 best places to retire in all of the United States. Last year, and again, I did a video on this, you might want to check back onto the YouTube channel right here to see that video. Last year, 2023, Lancaster was ranked #1. This year, Lancaster coming in still in the top 5, ranking in the #3 spot. What's interesting though is that the areas that are ahead of Lancaster are all within a stone's throw of Lancaster, and it's really circling in on this central Pennsylvania region for why it is such a great place to retire to and what makes it great. Now in the report, they put Harrisburg, Pennsylvania and Reading ahead of Lancaster in the 1 and the 2 spots respectively. Now in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about why maybe they hedged those a little bit higher than Lancaster than what they had last year, but there's going to be a little bit of some conflicting information from what we see in real time about why we still think Lancaster is the #1 spot like it was ranked last year. So let's dive into the data and first look at those top 5 rankings. So every year, U.S. News and World Report comes out with an aggregated ranking, and they do this for best places to live, best places to do this, best places to do that. And in this case, it's the retirement side of things, and they factor in a lot of different things. There's all different point systems and things being scored, from housing affordability to healthcare to quality of living and things like that you should be aware of, and you probably want to know if you're going to be thinking about retiring somewhere and spending decades of your life in these spots. So of course, that's where these rankings come in. And as you look at the rankings there and notice all of the top 5 spots are in Pennsylvania, and actually all of them honing in on the central and the eastern parts of Pennsylvania. In the last couple of years, U.S. News and World Report has certainly made a bigger stride towards affordability. Now that, especially when it comes to housing, and that is something that is portraying in these rankings over the last couple of years and really bringing Pennsylvania back to the forefront. Now, some people think retirement, they think Florida or somewhere down into the south so they don't have to deal with snow. But the problem is with those areas is that the affordability has started to get out of reach for places like, for example, Florida. The home values and the cost of living has exceeded places farther north up into the parts of the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Now, I'll say this, if you hate snow, probably shouldn't be thinking about moving to the Northeast, because again, it does snow here in Pennsylvania and here in Lancaster. But again, it's not like it's prolific. It's not like places in New England where they receive 50, 60, 70, or even over 100 inches of snow per year. We do get our fair share of snow in the winter. But again, I like to call Lancaster, Pennsylvania the 4-season area in the 4-season state, because we do get a little taste of every season, but we don't get the extremes that often. It's pretty rare that we get the extremes, and severe weather is kept to a minimum. So Pennsylvania ranking a little higher on there because of that affordability index. And when you break down these rankings, in particular, you look at the Harrisburg area, Reading, and also into Lancaster, you see those overall scores, again, from US News, 7.1, 7.0, 7.0. Now, there's a little bit of some breakdown and differences there, but I'll say this, is that Lancaster last year was number 1, this year is number 3, and the reason why is probably due to housing affordability. It's sliding just a little bit down. Not to say it's bad, but Lancaster is an incredibly desirable place, and you can check out all of our other YouTube videos to find out why and what makes Lancaster so amazing. But from a retirement perspective, you've got a great place where you can settle down, a safe area, but you're close to the Interstate 95 corridor. You can get to the big cities if you want some of the big city things to do and attractions. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, they are all a stone's throw train ride, a short day trip drive away from Lancaster, but you're not dealing with the pressures of the higher cost of living in those areas, and you're not dealing with the traffic too. So that's another thing. Certainly step down in the traffic from those areas. A little bit of some more agricultural type of rural feel to the Lancaster area, with also a city feel with Lancaster City too. So you get the best of both worlds living in the Lancaster area. But a big thing that is Lancaster is known for, at least, is the healthcare and the healthcare access right here in Lancaster. We have a number of different hospital systems right here in Lancaster County, the largest of which is Penn Medicine, which has partnered with the University of Penn in Philadelphia and created world-class healthcare right here in Lancaster, PA, because the physicians and the specialists that are working at UPenn, which people come from all over the world to come and see, are also coming here to Lancaster. So if you need to see a specialist, if you need to see somebody for acute care or whatever that might be, Lancaster has the resources for you. You don't have to drive to the big cities in order to get the world-class healthcare. Not only that, but nearby we've got the Penn State healthcare system and also the UPMC healthcare system too. Of course, a couple of little smaller types of healthcare systems around the area. So healthcare is a big deal around here. It is a big job producer, and that means more access, more competition, and in general means better healthcare for you and I. And generally, Pennsylvania is a retirement-friendly state because retirement income in PA is not taxed, and that is one of the few states in the country that does do that. So Pennsylvania, definitely retirement-friendly when it comes to the income side of things. And then where we see a little bit of a difference there and a diversion from where places like Florida make so great from a retirement perspective is the cost of living. So let's talk about that, because the average sale price in Lancaster County is right around the $330,000 to $350,000 mark. And again, that's the average sale price. Of course, there are homes that are well over $1 million here in Lancaster County, and there's also homes that are not, down around the $200,000 range for sure. So again, you can kind of get whatever mix you need based off of your situation right here in the beautiful Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Now, if you're thinking retirement, maybe you're thinking active adult 55 plus communities, and there are a number of those right here in the county. For example, Traditions of America is one that has started to spread out quite a bit across the state of Pennsylvania and into some other locations as well. But that is your true 55 plus active adult community. Lots of activities to do, lots of amenities such as pools, pickleball courts, clubhouse with indoor golf simulators, things like that. They have that here, right here in Lancaster County, but you're not going to be seeing the purchase prices around $350,000 there. You're probably going to be looking more around the $400,000, $450,000, even into the $500,000 range or higher for some of those types of active adult 55 plus communities. Another one to take a look at is Hometown Square in the Ephrata area in the northeast part of Lancaster County. You can check that out, and a little bit slightly lower price points, maybe around the $450,000, $500,000 mark. You still get a clubhouse, you still get activities, you still get a swimming pool, but a little bit lower in terms of price points. And of course, there are other active adult 55 plus communities in the surrounding region. So be sure to reach out to us. You can put the information, you can see the information right there on the screen. Reach out to us and we can provide a more comprehensive list for you to take a look at for your researching as you move forward. So I'm going to specifically look at that top three. Go Harrisburg, Reading, and Lancaster. Lancaster was number 1 last year, but it's not this year. Why? And I think that comes down to that housing affordability. The homes in Lancaster have started to increase in value more so than places like Harrisburg and in Reading. And that is factual data. That's hard and fast. Average sale price increases in these areas are going up in Lancaster more than they are in the Harrisburg and the Reading area. But that also speaks volumes to the desirability of living in Lancaster. There are a lot of things to do. Lancaster City is culturally rich and diverse. Arts, theater, music, those kinds of things Lancaster City is very, very well known for. And in addition to that, it is a thriving small city that is continuing to be one of the more popular places for people to go to nowadays and go get a bite to eat with all the amazing restaurants in downtown. But on the flip side of that, if you don't want the city life, you don't have to have it. In fact, the vast majority of Lancaster County is pretty rural, and it's known for the Amish community. As you go into the outskirts, you see a lot of Amish farms and horse and buggies and things like that. But the best part about all of that and living in such a rural area is the fact that, well, you can get close access to Lancaster City and the suburbs and the great healthcare and the hospital options and things like that. But you can live 10, 15 minutes away and be out in the middle of quiet and peace and have access to the farm markets and the farm fresh produce that is much less expensive than what you would pay at a grocery store, maybe from where you're coming from. Now, I'm not knocking on Harrisburg and Reading. I think they do have some redeeming values about them, Harrisburg being the capital of Pennsylvania. But I'll say this, is that Harrisburg, at least in the metro area, while it does have some restaurants and things to do in the downtown area, it is very government driven. So again, you see times where Harrisburg City can really just completely quiet down because, of course, we're outside of government operation hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. So again, we see that dynamic happening in the Harrisburg area. And generally speaking, you don't really see the cultural liveliness that you see in the Lancaster area in places like Reading and also into the Harrisburg area. You just see a very diverse group of people in the Lancaster area, and that is what draws a lot of people to this location in particular. And we have had clients who have come here from out of town, and they've explored places like York out to our west, Harrisburg off to our north and west. They've gone to Reading, they've gone to Chester County to our east. They've explored these different areas. And more often than not, I would say probably greater than 80 to 90% of the time, they end up coming back to Lancaster because the vibes are just different. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to be the right rule for you. So my encouragement to you is to come out here, come check things out, fly into Harrisburg International Airport, Baltimore, Washington International Airport, or Philly International Airport, and come spend some time in this area, drive around. York is only about a 30 to 45-minute drive away. Same with Harrisburg, same with Reading from the Lancaster area. So you can check all of these places out in a couple of days span, and that is my encouragement to do. Come check things out, look around, see what you think, and come check out the different towns that you all have to offer along the way. And if you do that, I encourage you to reach out to us. We do have a little bit of a list and some restaurant recommendations, some things to do recommendations that you can check out while you are here. So send us an email, and again, I'll put that information right up on the screen. We've got this list. We've sent it out so many times that I've actually templated it at this point, and I'm happy to send that your way as well, so you can make the most of your trip out here to figure out if this is the right place for you to live. Lancaster, Pennsylvania truly is a place where you can be within it all. You can be in the hubbub of a city or not within 10 to 15 minutes drive. In fact, it is one of those types of locations where the suburbs are small enough that you get outside of the city, which by the way is not very huge, but you can go through the suburbs quickly. You can get into the rural farmland if that's what you love. You can do all of those things all within this central location. But if you need a little bit bigger taste of a bigger city, again, you are close enough access to some of the major cities along the Interstate 95 corridor. With close access to, of course, international airports nearby, so you can go visit friends and family, or they can come visit you here in Lancaster. So while U.S. News and World Report ranking Lancaster as the number 3 spot for retirement in 2024, I think it's still number 1. Truthfully told, someone who lives on boots on the ground, I'm not really sure I understand the shifting of the rankings. I still think Lancaster is number 1. We still see it all the time with people who are coming to and moving to this area and checking things out, researching, doing their due diligence. And a lot of times, again, they focus in on the Lancaster area. Now, that being said, in Lancaster, those 55 plus active adult communities, or if it's a price point issue for you, maybe you're looking for something that's less than the average sale price of around $350. And that's okay, because there are some surrounding counties and surrounding areas outside of Lancaster where you can actually find that. Even within Lancaster County too, there's a couple of those communities, and we can talk about those. We can have that conversation. So feel free to reach out. Just because you see a $400, $500, $6,000 price point does not mean that is the general encapsulation of these retirement communities here in the Lancaster area. If you love rolling farmlands, the beautiful nature of our United States, Lancaster is a great place for you. If you're a history buff, you're close to it all. There's even some great rich history right here in Lancaster itself. You're right here in the Civil War, and places where the start of our country happened. So you're right here in the mix of it all for those history buffs. And for those that like music, arts, theater, the downtown Lancaster is rich with things to do, things to check out, including the Fulton Theater. You can check that out and see some of the shows that are going to be playing there at the Fulton for a night out on the town. But of course, we also have more affordable housing compared to especially some of the other areas across the country, some other area retirement hotspot areas. And so you can get into homes and get into a cost of living area that is lower, more cost effective, and especially nowadays with inflation running rampant as a recording of this video, it's a good thing. We want to see those areas, and those are the areas which are growing and expanding, especially when it comes to the retirement community because of those factors. PA, of course, being a retirement-friendly state as well. So I hope you got some great information out of this video. That's the general summary of things. But if you have more questions, we are here to be a resource and a guide for you. Once again, we'll put our information right here on the screen. Call, text, email, it doesn't matter. We will be here to answer your phone call, respond to your text message, whatever email, it doesn't matter. We're going to get back to you to answer those questions you may have while you're doing your due diligence and research in this phase. Now, if you're looking to learn more about how we can help you on the real estate side of things, we can certainly be a guide for that. Check out our website, themoregroup.lancaster.com. Look at what we have to offer, learn more about our team, and how we can help you achieve your goals. Now, we've also worked with a ton of people who are in the same situation as you, are moving to this area for retirement. And I encourage you to go to Google and look up the More Group and just see the reviews and see other people who are in the same situation as you and what they've had to say. We've got 60 plus 5-star reviews and counting, and we'd love to make yours 61 as you get in contact with us and we help you achieve your real estate goals. So reach out to us. We'd love to see that. And don't forget, if you got information out of this video, don't forget to thumbs up the video, like and subscribe. Again, my name is Matt Moore with the More Group. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below or reach out to us with all the contact information you saw in this video. We'd love to have that conversation with you. We absolutely love doing it with other people, and we hope to talk to you soon.